I thought I'd just go live with all you cool people. Hope you don't mind me popping in at whatever, 9 in the morning Central Time. So one of the things I've been thinking about a lot is this DC deployment of National Guard and federalization of the police. Oh, there's a policeman right there. And let me tell you, here's a couple of things that was been on my mind. Number one of the things I keep saying, hearing is, this is martial law. This is Trump's plan to take over the government, take over cities. Obviously, he's threatened to do the same thing in New York and Chicago, and a lot of people are freaking out. And I appreciate why. I don't like it either. Okay, I have a son-in-law who's a National Guardsman. I was an Army reservist briefly before 9/11. Well, between on active service before I was mobilized on 9/11. I understand the concern, but let me walk you through a few things of what I think it is and what I think it isn't. First of all, as much as we want to think it's nationalization or martial law, here's the thing. There's not enough troops. I know. It seems like a lot. 800 troops, right? Oh my God, 800 military policemen plus federal law enforcement and federalizing the police force. That's it. This is martial law, folks. First of all, let me give you some numbers to give you perspective. Number one, when we had control of Baghdad during the surge, and I use that word loosely, control of Baghdad during the surge. We didn't really have control, but when we were in Baghdad during the surge, we had well over, I believe, 25,000 troops, plus probably double to triple that in Iraqi security forces. And we by no means had control of Baghdad. Another number, and this is a shocking one, if I believe it's correct, because it was given to me yesterday by a colleague. Do you remember the inauguration of Joe Biden after January 6th? Trump couldn't be bothered to mobilize the National Guard. The planned deployment of National Guard for January 6th that the Secretary of Defense recommended at the time was 20,000 troops. Okay, 20,000, or excuse me, correction, sorry, car driving by, 10,000. They wanted 10,000. And if you remember, Trump said 10,000 is not going to be enough. In the end, after January 6th, and to secure the inauguration of Joe Biden, they sent 28,000 troops to secure the National Mall, surrounding environs, approaches, Capitol Hill. 28,000. So how many they sent this time? 800. So you tell me. I'm not, I know, while I was a military operations officer for most of my career, people like to think I was just a spokesman. No, I got bad news for you. 18 years of my career was spent as an operations officer planning just these operations. Matter of fact, after 9/11, my job in the Army Reserve when I was mobilized was to plan the deployment of the forces we sent to Afghanistan. I was the guy that evaluated all the units in the Army and made a recommendation to the commanding general who should be mobilized from the reserves, National Guard, or active duty to be sent to the CENTCOM area of responsibility. So I know a little bit, a little bit about military deployment, what it takes to occupy a city. So let's put that aside. He is not going to occupy DC with 800 National Guards. Frankly, he could send the 82nd Airborne, and I got bad news. They're still not occupying the country as an authoritarian. What it is gangsterism, okay? It's gangsterism. What he is a gangster. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what I mean by this is it's thuggery. He wants us to be intimidated. He wants those troops, he wants those DE agents to intimidate us, and he wants the visuals. Because look, the one thing we know about authoritarians is it's all about the visual. Okay, there's a reason Kim Jong-un is constantly photographed in front of his soldiers, okay? There's a reason we see Vlad Putin riding a fucking horse with his shirt off. I mean, okay, because they want to look tough, okay? Oh, look at me, I'm tough. That's Trump. Trump is so horny for those guys. That's what he's doing. Look, folks, I made this decision clearly last night. Do you remember what happened last night? So if you're paying attention to the news, where did the national look in all of Washington, D.C.? It is a large city, not huge. It's a medium-sized city, I'd say. But in all of Washington, D.C., it wasn't the parking lot of a shopping mall. It wasn't the airport across the river. It wasn't the Pentagon parking lot, which is across the river where they gather all the people who go in for like parades and stuff. The Pentagon parking lot. No, where they gather the military, police, National Guardsmen? On the National Mall between the Washington Monument and the Capitol. Okay. Is there a military reason for that? No. There's a visual reason for that. And why? Because where did the cameras go? What'd you see on? You saw all the video because they all showed up. They were already there. Okay. Even Acosta was there because he let them know, hey, come get the video of my troops taking over DC. The National Guardsmen did talk to the media because what are they going to say? They know that 800 National Guardsmen in Humvees aren't going to take anything under control. Okay. I got bad news for you, folks. I drove around Iraq in a Humvee. Okay. I mean, come on now. No, the goal was the visual. Why are 5 DEA agents patrolling the reflecting pool where there's been zero crime in 2025? Zero crime in 25. They're literally patrolling an area that's not had any crime because it's where the cameras are. It's where the tourists are. It's where the libs run every day, or whatever it may be. This is all about thuggery and visuals. Okay. It's not about martial law. Second piece, and I saw this one last night, and this is kind of a bigger one for me. And this is why I went live instead of just doing a video because this is going to be 20 minutes. But anyway, hey, sorry. Hey, good. Thanks for so many people joining. Wow, look at all the people. While I walk. So for background, this is what I do. I try every day. Sometimes I make it. Sometimes I try to walk 3 miles. So I'm pink and sweaty because it's humid here. Back to the topic at hand. The other one is this idea. I saw a video last night. A dear friend sent it to me saying how this is how he's setting up his night of the long knives. Woo. Okay, so without doing a long history lesson, because nobody wants that this time of the day, and when I look like this, sweaty and stuff, Night Long Knives, remember, was when Hitler spent about 48 hours, and his stormtroopers, his SS brown shirts, and others raided stores of Jews. It's when they killed all of his opponents. Okay, it's when they really took power. Okay, so it was done by the brown shirts. It was done by the SS, the nascent version of the SS. He was already the chancellor. This was their night to really take power as dictator. Okay, so that was the culmination of a decade and a half of building his troops. If you remember, the first brown shirts of the Blackhawk, I used to fly those. The first brown shirts were mostly, and I'm sad to say this, World War I veterans, German World War I veterans, who were disenfranchised and angry at their government. The same World War I veterans in our country marched on Washington for the bonus army when they weren't paid their bonus they were promised. There was a lot of disaffected, angry, very angry veterans in Germany, and Hitler was one of them. And he used their anger to blame the government. Who was the government? Von Hindenburg. It's a Blackhawk. I won't show you, but that's why I used to fly. Okay. Hindenburg. Oh, Hindenburg, what did he do during World War I? He was one of the generals. So keep in mind that Light of Long Knives was the culmination of a decade and a half of building his own personal army, his own stormtroopers. Now, look, I know you're nervous about what Pete Hegseth's doing with the military. I know you're nervous about the 10,000 new ICE agents. I get it. That's a lot of people. On paper, it's huge. It is not enough to do what you're thinking. Now, that's not to say there couldn't be political violence. It's not to say that some rogue elements may do really terrible things, and not to say they're not going to fucking try. But the numbers aren't there. And let's be honest, the American soldier isn't a brown shirt. I know as much as you want to, you're worried. Those of you who've never served are probably worried. Even people who served are like, shit, this is getting crazy. I'm serious, I'm seeing what's going on, and you're nervous. I get it. But here's the thing. That's not who we are. It's not who a volunteer army, because like it or not, we still have a volunteer army. And an all volunteer army is a reflection of the nation it serves. It's you and me. And how do I know? You guys, I said this on a podcast with my friend Nick Perro yesterday. You guys, think about the parade. Trump's big goal with the parade was to show how tough and what a badass he was, right? Look at me, my tough army. And my favorite picture of the whole thing, if you remember, is there was this vehicle passing in front of the reviewing stand where Hegseth and Trump were sitting there looking pissed, which was chef's kiss. Okay. And they passed. If you remember, there was a soldier in the hat, a male soldier in the hatch of his vehicle doing the heart sign with both his hands. Okay. Okay. So, hey, we love you. Okay. The American soldier sucks at being a brown shirt. While we have had bad elements, we've had mishaps, we've had horrible things like the My Lai massacre, or, Little Bighorn, or, of course, during Iraq, we had Abu Ghraib. There have been these things that have occurred. But the fact you know the names of them is because they're so rare. Because the American soldier, the American service member, is inherently you and me. They're our kids. We raised them for 18 years to be who they are. And 8 weeks of basic training and 12 weeks of advanced infantry training, or whatever it may be, individual training, isn't going to change the kids we raised. So, as much as they're horny to turn our military into brown shirts and they're enemy of the people, they're going to have a hell of a road to haul. Okay. Because it's still our kids and we're raising them. And this is going to shock the shit out of a lot of you. There's a shit ton of liberal kids who join the military because they want to serve their country. They want to go to college. They want to make a difference. It's a ticket out of a shitty place. Okay. They join the military to get out of the circumstances they are. We're overrepresented by African Americans, not because we recruit African Americans, because so many young Black men and women know the way to improve their lives is to get the military benefits that are available to them. It's not we're actively trying to get more of them. It's just a natural progression. And second, it runs in the family. My dad served. My grandpa served. My dad served in World War One. My grandpa, excuse me, World War Two. My grandpa served in World War One, the Army Air Corps. We had a sailor in the Civil War. We had a Minuteman in the Revolution. Before that, our very first American or Wellman service member was impressed into the British Army when they marched through his village in Massachusetts and grabbed all the military age males and marched to fucking Quebec. Okay. That's how long people in my family have served. And guess what? My son served. My son served too. My son-in-law still served. My daughter's marrying a former soldier, a veteran. That's what it is. And again, none of the kids in my family line are going to be bayoneting civilians. None of the kids in my family line are going to be beating up kids and civilians. Okay. So while we're all nervous and what Trump's doing is outrageous, ain't it. So he wants to be but his goal is to intimidate us. His goal is to shut us up. His goal is to make us afraid. His goal is for me not to do videos like this. Okay. His goal is for people like me and you who should step up to run. We won't do it. Okay. We're too afraid. We're too afraid of the doxing. We're too afraid of the thugs and the MAGA guys. We're so afraid of being called a pedo. Funniest thing, I was in therapy about a week ago. I admit this freely. I have PTSD. I've had PTSD since 1990 and I've been treating it for 8 years because I recognized it. And the funniest thing happened, I'm talking to my therapist and she says, Fred, you're getting more public. You're going to have to be ready for it. They're going to call you names like pedophile and stuff. I'm like, girl, if a day doesn't go by me being called a pedophile, it ain't a day. Okay. That's just how it is. And so they want us, those assholes that do that, they want us to be scared. And our role is to say, fuck you. We're not scared of you. Okay. We're not scared of your intimidation. And that's what Trump's doing. So look, I get it. It's scary seeing military troops federalized. It's scary seeing DEA agents being used. But let me tell you, did those DEA agents in that video you saw yesterday look really fucking happy? No. Because a guy joins the DEA or a woman joins the DEA to fucking to get drug dealers, to get international cartels. They join the DEA to stop the most heinous crimes in America, fentanyl, okay? Drug dealers. No, Donald Trump's got those men and women, and believe it or not, they're patriots, most of them, patrolling the National Mall in body armor. For what? Do you think FBI agents doing street walks of Washington, D.C. are happy with that? You don't join the FBI to be a street cop. You join the FBI to fucking get criminals. And most FBI agents aren't even fucking cops. They're accountants. They're nerds. Okay. Trump thinks everybody's a door kicking sheepdog, tough guy, and they're not. They do because they serve their country. And so he's going to break that. Hags the other day bragged about 10,000 troops on the border sitting in their striker vehicles. Okay. Talking, stopping the border invasion. Well, first of all, once again, their propaganda runs up against reality. There's no border invasion. Okay. And so what we've got is thousands of troops sitting in hot vehicles, probably wearing body armor because these assholes think it looks tough, miserable when they should be home with their families. You've got young moms not away from their kids. You got young men and women away from their families. You got young men away from their Xboxes, and that's fucked up. Okay? That's what they're doing. So morale's going to tank. Recruiting is going to tank. Re-enlistment's going to tank. They keep talking about how they met their recruiting goals, but you know what they haven't been announcing much? Re-enlistment. Look for that one, y'all. Look for when if Pete Hegseth ever talks about reenlistment rates, because the real canary in a coal mine isn't recruiting. Kids will join. Again, like I mentioned, they want to serve their country. They'd ignore the fact who the president is, or they love the fact he's the president, or they just want fucking college benefits, the best GI Bill in history. But the real test, the real litmus test of where the military stands is reenlistment. How many are staying? One that's leaked out recently is over at the VA. They keep talking about how they're reforming the VA, but now it's leaking out. They're hemorrhaging doctors and nurses. Good people are saying, fuck it, I'm out of here. Okay? That's going to happen in the military. And my gut tells me it's happening right now. Non-commissioned officers with 10, 11 years of service, knowing they had to spend another 9 to retire, they're like, fuck it. I'm out. I'm out. I'm not doing this. Why do they talk? Look at the numbers. Look what they're not telling you. They're not telling you about reenlistment. Do you think National Guardsmen signed up to leave their jobs to drive around DC randomly in a Humvee looking tough? No, no. National Guards members have other jobs. National Guard members have families. They have lives. It's a part-time job to be called up in an emergency, like, I don't know, a fucking flood, which we haven't heard shit about. Okay? A train derailment, which they're not even bothering to talk about. No, instead, they got them driving around DC in Humvees in full battle rattle, acting like it's a war zone when it's just a medium-sized city with medium-sized city issues. So I wanted to come on here and just talk to you guys. Hey, look, I get it. I'm with you. I understand your angst. I understand your fear. I get it. I've been the target of these attacks. I've been a target of more lies than you can imagine. I can't wait till Laura Loomer discovers me. It's going to be awesome. I've gotten big news coming out soon about that kind of stuff. But the fact is, they're trying to scare us. The goal isn't to kill us necessarily. The goal isn't to lock us in our homes and stop commerce. The goal is to terrorize us. The goal is for exactly what they want. They want us all sitting here rubbing our hands together. This is it. This is the one, Fred. Light it along knives, whatever it may be. Pick a day. Oh, beer hall putsch. I don't know. Pick your fucking date. But this ain't it, folks. It's intimidation. Look at the video. Why is everything recorded in the Trump administration? Because they want you to see it. They want the visual to scare you. And those of us who served have a duty to you who haven't served to say, 800 guardsmen ain't it. Just isn't. 800 guardsmen isn't going to control DC. Okay. They're going to fucking hate it. And so for you and us, you and me, us together here, let's keep our heads about us, but let's never forget what they're trying to do. They are trying to invoke authoritarianism. They are trying to invoke oligarchy. That's the big one. Because guess what? That's the final note. Well, this is a distraction. Yeah, it is a distraction. It's important. We got to pay attention to it. But no Epstein files. I mean, you guys see how Trump is freaking out lately? I mean, he called Alaska Russia. Today, he called St. Petersburg, Russia, Leningrad, which it's not. He's frazzling. And this is the classic sign of a person with early stage dementias. High stress makes them, haywire. That's what he's doing. He's freaking the fuck out right now. And the final thing he's freaking the fuck out is just this morning, his favorite new CNN pollster, Harry Enton on CNN, said he is underwater by 25%, 25 points, on the economy, because average Americans know that their prices are not fucking going down. Here in Missouri, where I live, Ameren, the electric company, just raised their rates 12%. Sorry, folks, 12% raised. $1,000 or more for some people in their electricity rates. Businesses are fucking screwed. 12% raise in 1 month. Okay. And the tax cuts haven't even started. Okay. So believe me, they are diverting our attention, and they are trying to strike fear in us. And the goal is to strike fear. But our job as American citizens say, nah, hard pass, dude. It's not partisan, y'all. It's not party left, right. It's us versus a person who wants to maintain power and his powerful friends who are rich people who want to get more money. The big billionaire bill was the largest transfer of wealth in American history. The top 20% of Americans are now poorer, will be poorer. And the top 10% of Americans will be multiple times richer because of that bill. That's what they don't want you to pay attention to. The video, it's not a coincidence that there was media sitting there. I mean, look, I don't know if you've ever been to Washington, D.C. This is going to shock you. Media just doesn't sit next to the Washington Monument. I know, right? It's hard to believe that the main street, 14th Street, that comes into D.C. doesn't just have media trucks fucking sitting there. But oddly, They were there yesterday when the National Guard rolled in and parked on the busiest fucking street in DC. They literally staged on the busiest street in Washington, D.C. That ain't a coincidence, folks. The street section next to the Washington Monument that's had 0% crime this year, zero crimes. That's where they'd stay the National Guard. And just a fucking coincidence, there was TV camera. So look, that's what they want. That's what Levitt wants. That's what Pete Hegseth wants. That's even Driscoll, as it turned out, Dan Driscoll's a shit too, the Secretary of the Army. But that's really what Trump wants. That's what he was feeding. He was feeding Fox. He was feeding his viewers. Him looking tough. Our job is to laugh at his ass because you know what? Bullies hate being laughed at. Trump's a fucking dork, okay? Pete Hegseth is an idiot, okay? He's a fucking idiot, and they know it, and we know it, and we just keep pointing it out. So I want to go live during my morning walk. It's a beautiful day here in Missouri. Always is a beautiful day in Missouri because I'm here and I'm out walking. If you like this, leave a comment. You know, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. So what will we do? I can't see your comments. I just see, hi, Sonny. Thank you so much. So what shall we do? Exactly what I just told you. Get out and vote or get out and protest. There's protests. They're having a protest this weekend, or this week on the 16th. The Democrats have organized. I think the Texas Democrats have organized a protest to stop the gerrymandering in New York. Or well, it's not even gerrymandering. It's redistricting, mid-decade redistricting. That's being organized. I think there's a website for it. Look it up. There's protests on the 16th about this Trump takeover. I think it's stoptrumptakeover.com. That's where they're at. So check that out. It is getting involved in your local parties. Yes, get involved with Democrats, get involved in Indivisible. Hey, even 50-51. Your voices matter. Showing you're not afraid. They're protesting in Washington, D.C. Do a protest too. Your voice does matter. They don't like bad publicity. Second, make your congressman pay, folks. Listen to me. You got to make these congressmen pay. People like you and me, we need to step up and run, right? And even if you're scared to death, you got to run, okay? You got to run. And the people that do have the courage to run, you got to support them. I say this every time I talk publicly. There's not a campaign for office on planet Earth ever, anywhere, that doesn't need your help. I'm just telling you right now, I'm not talking money. They desperately need money, but I know it's tight times. But there's not a campaign on planet Earth that doesn't need you, your back, your sweat, your sneakers. They need you to canvass. They need you to knock on doors. They need you to make postcards. They need you to make, even now, because we start winning fucking right now. We start making the pay right now. Here in my district, CD2 and Wagner, her portfolio grew, the 11th largest portfolio growth in the entire capital, the United States Senate and Congress combined. You know, Ann Wagner, my personal representative, was number 11 in increasing her portfolio last year. Okay? They're getting richer and they don't want you to know. Let them know you know and then show the fuck up. And that doesn't mean waiting till November 3rd of next year. Show up now, figure out who's running, and the minute they announce, call them and say, when do you guys start getting volunteers? When do you start canvassing? Because good campaigns are going to do it in September, October, because we need to start getting the word out now. Okay? So that's what you do. You don't sit on your hands. You don't do this shit like I'm doing. Okay, which is good. Do it. I love it. And thank you for watching. But what you need to do is get involved right now. Okay. So that's my take for the morning walk thoughts. If you like it, I'll do it more. Leave a comment, leave a message. Please subscribe if you're not a subscriber. I think you have to be to find this, but hopefully if you're not, it's fpwellman.substack.com. As you know, I'm on all the social medias as FP Wellman or FP Wellman Official. All these things going on. I've got a new show for you Friday night on the Midas Touch Network at 7 p.m. Eastern. Whatever you can do, like I said, reiterating what I said from the beginning, I know everybody's nervous. They think this is martial law. They think this is the setup to the Night of the Long Knives. 800 troops ain't it, y'all. It's just not. But it is enough to scare us. It is enough to be a gangster and a thug, which is what Trump thinks he is. And he's not. The guy wears lifts. The guy's fucking weird. He wears a girdle. And he's just weird. He's a weird dude. They're all weird. Hegseth, the weird tight suits. Just fucking weird, okay? They're weird. These dudes are weird. And the weird dudes want you to be scared. J.D. Vance. I mean, come on. Do you hear that Stephen Miller's only condiment is mayo? He only uses mayonnaise. His wife said that on a podcast. Have you ever heard the most white shit in your life, okay? They're fucking weird, okay? So don't be scared of these dumbasses. Stand up. Join me, okay? There's more to come. Look, I got a big announcement coming up. I can't wait to tell you. I hope you'll sign up. Tell your friends. f2om.subsite.com. I love you guys. Thanks for joining me for this crazy moment. If you like this, leave a message. I'll do more. And I walk every day. Try to walk every day. If I can, I'll just say hi and do this. So good talking to you guys. Thanks for joining me. I'll send this out via email if you're just joining late. But remember, your voice matters. They want you to be scared. You have to make the choice to be scared. Only you can make that decision. Okay. So grab your loved ones close. I just would have celebrated the 35th anniversary of my wife I lost, so I know better than anybody. Hug your loved ones close when you can, but then pat them on the head, slap them on the ass, and get back out that fucking door and get to work. Okay? I'm Fred Wellman. Thanks for joining me, you guys. I will see you again soon.